Regis, Houchin.
Coventry are looking to add a second goal. A fine pass and a fine goal as well. George Thomas puts Coventry 2 goals up.
McNulty. Shipley there up with us. And Shipley deflected! They're turning Wembley sky blue now!
Oh, a lovely nutmeg from O'Hare. That was quite brilliant. And a chance for Gyökeres. He slammed it in.
Hello and very good evening to you. Welcome to an edition of Sky Blue Fans TV on this Thursday evening. I've got a couple of special guests with us tonight. It's Victoria Oakes and Bradley from RWA Productions, who are going to join us very shortly. I want to start the programme now with some very sad news, obviously, the passing of John Motson. Icon for me over the years. Many commentaries, and we grew up listening to him. I'm sure many of us did over the years, including our 1987 FA Cup final. John was an OBE. He died today, age 77. Covered over 20 major tournaments, 10 World Cups, 10 European Championships, 29 FA Cup finals, of which, of course, one of them was ours in 1987 when we won 3-2 against Tottenham. Very memorable. Also over 200 England international games John covered. Started with the BBC in 1968, retired in 2018. I'm sure we all agree he'll be sadly missed among the football world, especially the older generation who remember him from long gone by and Match of the Day, etc., etc. Tributes are pouring in for him today, and we send obviously our condolences to his family and friends as well. Okay, right, let's bring in our guests. Thank you very much for joining us. Victoria, how are we?
Hi, Ken. Good, thank you.
Hi. And we're also going to bring in Bradley. How are you doing, Bradley?
Good evening, Ken. I'm all right. How are you? I'm good, thanks. Not
too bad. You're from Sunderland fan RWA Productions. Is that correct? Yes?
That's correct, yes. That's correct.
Good. Well, let's get on to it then. Let's get on with the show. We've got a few things lined up for you as well. We've got a competition for you, which we're going to announce in a moment. And also, before we get underway, actually, we'll put this up because this has got to be a fantastic night in the Two-Tone Brewery brunch. It's at Dillon's Brewery on the 4th of March, Saturday the 4th of March, from 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock. All you have to do to get tickets is scan the QR code on the screen. You can scan it and then you can book tickets direct. Special guests, Trevor Evans, the Lloyd McGrath Collective, and a lot more to be announced very soon. As you can see on there, it's going to have plenty of food and ska music and reggae and all sorts of stuff there. Bottomless drinks, you can't beat them. And so it's going to be a really good night. Also, we have also got a competition running as well, which we'll tell you about now, so you can get your emails in. This is by email only. Please do not send the answers on the comments. We don't want to know the answer on here. You have to email to enter the competition. The question is, what was the special first number one single in the UK? all you have to do is email us to info@skybluefanstv.co.uk, and you win 2 tickets for that very evening, that two-tone evening at Dillon's Brewery. You can win 2 tickets for that event if you answer that question. We're going to leave the competition open for a week, so it's going to close next Thursday when Miles will be here on Miles' show, and we'll do the draw then on Thursday evening for the winners of the 2 tickets. So that's the question once again. What was the special's first number 1 single in the UK? Email us to skybluefanstv.co.uk, please, with the answer to that question. Please do not send it in over tonight's chat. It's got to be by email only as well. So I'll be reminding you of that later on during the evening as well. So as we go on, we'll be talking about that. Okay, right, let's get on with it. Let's get on with the football, shall we? Bradley.
Hello.
Sunderland coming to the CBS on Saturday afternoon, 12:30. Early kickoff for you lot. You'll have to leave early. Are you making the trip?
No, I'm not making this trip, unfortunately, no, because it's my mum's birthday on the 26th, but we're having a long weekend because it's my mum and dad's anniversary as well.
Right, okay, okay. But no doubt you will be tuned in on Sky TV from 12:30.
Oh, no, I'll be watching it, by all means, I'll be watching it.
Now, first game of the season we played you, obviously, ended in a draw square. I thought we maybe could have nicked it, but, I mean, do you think that was a fair result, first game of the season? And how do you think have you improved since then, and how your results have been going? I mean, you've improved lately, obviously, but it's been a bit up and down season for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, to be honest, it was a fair result for us against Coventry first game of the season. Getting a draw underneath our belt between us and Coventry. But after that, I thought we played very well. Very good fluid football under Togi Mowbray, because obviously Alex Neil left and went to Stoke. Yes. During those couple of weeks after we played you. So
that's right.
I think it was after the Sheffield United game when we were going to play Norwich.
He left on the Friday, season, wasn't it? Very early.
It was very early in the season. He left on the Friday morning or the Friday afternoon because he told the lads he was leaving. Then obviously we never had no manager for the Saturday, so we played under the assistant. We played under what's his face again? Mike Dodds. So we played under him. But unfortunately we couldn't win against Coventry. We lost. I mean Norwich. Sorry, got Coventry on the mind. Norwich. We got beat 1-0 against Norwich at home. But a couple of weeks after that, Togi Mowbray came in, and we started to see some kind of good styled counter-attack football. Quite a few people were saying that he's a defensive man as well, but I didn't want him at the time. But you know what? He's proved me very wrong this season. Obviously, with the players he's brought in, with the transfer window, he's literally had like 3 or 4 days left before the transfer window ended. But he managed to get some good players in. He got Abdullah Barra, he's got Mishut in from PSG. He got he actually got Joffe in from the summer transfer window. That's Joe Geldart. Obviously, he scored his first goal away on Tuesday night down at Rotherham, which I'll get onto in a bit. To be fair, I'm very surprised where we are on the table this season. We're 8th in the championship this season. I thought we would have been at least mid-table around 12th, 13th. But to be honest, under Togi Mowbray, I'm actually liking the man, to be fair.
Are you happy with the way he's playing football-wise in his team selections?
Yeah, I think because he's got the team going very well. Obviously, we've got the assistants behind him. We've got Mike Dodds, and he's brought in his coach, Mark Venus from Blackburn, where he used to manage them.
We know all about him because he was with us. Obviously, Tony Mowbray and Venus a few years ago. So, and to be fair to him, he played some good football. He had a great team when he was with us. You know, we had the Adam Armstrong era. We still had Madison then, so we had a really good team. And unfortunately, we got so far. I think he took us as much as he could, and then we fell away the second half of the season. Come January, February, we were really struggling for whatever reason. I don't know why it went wrong for him, but we had a few injuries and stuff like that. But yeah, we started well under Mowbray, and it just didn't probably work out for him in the end. And then he left, and then Venus took over for a bit. His assistant, who's with him, who seems to follow him all over the place. And, and then he went to Blackburn, and of course, didn't he? Then after he left us, and so he's been about a bit. He's been about the football world a bit. Old Tony Mowbray. Of course, he used to manage Middlesbrough as well, didn't he? So he's been up the northeast on a few occasions, hasn't he? So, do you think he's the answer for you then, Tony Mowbray? Do you think? Because I quite rated the manager you had to start with at the start of the season, and then he obviously went to Stoke, and it didn't work out for him there, did it?
No, it's Stoke City, I think, the 19th in the table under Alex Neil. To be fair, last season when he was in League One with us, obviously the sack of the Lee Johnson during the terrible times down at Rotherham, obviously we got beat 5-1 down there. Then the 6-0 thrashing against Bolton Wanderers, which was a bit figgy really. But ever since Alex Neil came in as well in, I think it was February, I think he did a really good job for the team what he had.
He did, yeah. I thought he was doing okay, and obviously he left to go to Stoke. And it didn't quite work out for him there, did it? So it was a surprise when he did leave. Did it surprise you when he left, especially so early in the season?
To be fair, I was very surprised. It actually got appointed because I wasn't even. I was very surprised. Sorry, that he was in the running for Stoke. To be fair, but I thought we would have had different managers in. I didn't know he would have went. Because obviously he loves Sunderland. He loved when they got promoted from League One to the Championship. Yeah, he celebrated when the second goal went in, and he knew it was a game over, game set and match really.
Yeah. So how do you think you're going to finish this year? I mean, you're quite hopeful of getting in the playoffs because you've had a few decent results. Obviously, you had a bad result last week against Rotherham. Well, we played actually last Saturday. We beat them, and then you lost to them on Tuesday night, didn't you?
Yeah, we lost 2-1 against them. I've actually got paper in front of us who scored those goals. It was Rathbone and Ferguson who scored those goals for Rotherham. And Gerald Hawke got his first goal for Sunderland on Tuesday evening. So that's got him a bit more confident, I reckon, going into this game against Coventry. For me, I think playoffs can be quite reasonable. I think we could get there. But for me, this season, I think we should stay in the Championship for at least one more season and try and stabilise the squad. And try and, because obviously getting promoted from League One to the Championship is obviously, because obviously we've got most of the players from League One last season. This season playing in the Championship, we had Jack Clark, we had Patrick Roberts on loan, we had Pritchard obviously, Patterson in goal, who is absolutely overwhelmed for me. I think he's man of the match every time when I see him. He saves quite a lot of goals, to be fair. That penalty save against, was it QPR last week? Yeah, it was QPR last week. Yeah. Tuesday night. It was brilliant by Anthony Patterson.
And then you had Callum Doyle as well, didn't you? Who's with us now.
Doyle we had...
on loan from Man City.
Yeah, we had Doyle as well. Therefore, he was quite good as well, Callum Doyle.
He's been outstanding for us this season.
Yeah, I was just about to say, how has he been like for you? Because
brilliant.
Obviously, he played well for us last season.
He did, he did. And he's obviously he's only a young lad, so he's had a couple of dodgy games to start with, but he's really, really come on really well, and you can tell he's a good player. The way he plays the ball out, the way Manchester City play, and that's the way we play. You know, we like to play the ball out from the back, and he's very much used to that. So yeah, he's been fantastic for us this season. I was going to bring up Victoria. You quite agree with Callum Doyle? He's been fantastic with us this year, hasn't he, Doyle?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I really rate him. I think, like you just said, you can tell You tell with certain players, can't you, that they came from a background of a bigger club. It's a bit like Ben Sheaf to a degree, like with his Arsenal background. They've just got that something about them, the way they play the ball and the way that they react to the ball. It's just a different type of player, isn't it? And he's definitely got that. I really rate Doyle. I mean, I'd love it if we could sign him, but there's no way
on a permanent basis.
I don't think we can afford him. I don't think Man City will let him go because I can see him playing for them in a season or two.
I think we probably
future England
player than Doyle.
Yeah, future England player, I think as well. I think he'll be that good. I really do rate him.
I do. You're right there. I think he's come on leaps and bounds really for us. I think he's been tremendous. Bradley, do you think you can get in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think we could get into the playoffs, but we've got some tricky fixtures coming up. We've got Sheffield United at home on the 15th of March. We've got Luton Town at home on the 18th of March. We've got also Burnley. They've been really running away with it this season. We've got Stoke City on the 4th. We'll easily beat them. On the 11th. Shall I leave a score prediction for you against Coventry?
I'm going to come to that now. Who we got to look at? Who we got to look out for in your team then, since we last played you?
Definitely we need to look out for Jack Clark. Patrick Roberts we need to look out for as well. Both of them are really big threat on the wings. Patrick Roberts, what he does is he runs in with the ball. He runs in when he tries to shoot. Same with Clark as well. He tries to run in with the ball as well. So them are both threats for Coventry City. And obviously the back, the defence for us, Ballard, Daniel Ballard's a massive threat for you. Because no team this season except from, I think it was Rotherham on Tuesday night actually, because we haven't lost away since the 18th of October. But obviously we lost on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, it was a good record, that was.
Yeah. But Ballard's been really well for us as well. Bought him in the summer. But that's what I would watch out for. Roberts and Clark. Great two players. And Ahmad as well.
Yeah.
Ahmad Diallo.
Should be interesting then. Is there any players that you fear on the Coventry side that you're not looking forward to playing against?
Definitely Victor. He's a big Vic. He's definitely a threat for you, Victor. Obviously Callum Doyle, a big threat as well. Yeah. Obviously a centre back. Who's your goalie called again? I forgot what your goalie was called.
Yeah, Ben Wilson, who kept the most clean sheets, incidentally, in the Championship.
That's it, Ben Wilson. Yeah, I'm very thinking him and all. He's quite a threat as well. A good goalkeeper as well as Patterson. So Patterson and Wilson's gonna. Yeah. We'll see what it's like on Saturday, to be honest.
So I know you've got to shoot off soon, haven't you?
Around 10 minutes time, 15 minutes time.
Yeah, okay, then we'll stay with this for a bit. Just hang fire down. I'll get your prediction off you shortly. Let's go to Victoria. Hi, Vic. How are you doing? All right, yeah?
Yeah, good, thanks. Yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah. Are you looking forward to the game on Saturday? Early kickoff for you?
No, but don't forget, I've got to miss it, haven't I? I'm gutted.
Of course, yes. I mean, have you arranged to watch it anywhere? You're going to be...
well, I'll be on the train, so I'm going to see what sort of signal I can get. But I'm going to record it, so worst case, I'll have to come home and watch it when I get back on Sunday. Yeah,
of course. Because you're off gallivanting for the weekend, aren't you?
Gallivanting, yeah.
Would you make any changes to the team for Saturday, or would you keep it as it was from the Rotherham game?
I think I'll probably keep it as it was. I think that we've got to the stage now where we're building a bit of confidence and a bit of, I suppose, consistency. I think that it started to show in the Luton game, then it came in the Millwall game, and gradually over the sort of just that sort of bit of momentum. So I think that we want to try and change as little as possible, unless we're forced by injury now, to try and keep that momentum going, really, and that confidence to continue to grow. So I mean, I think that the back three pretty much speak for themselves, don't they? I think that if we could play Fads, McNally, and Doyle, that's. I mean, they pretty much write themselves into the team sheet, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, how about Godden? Would I know Godden's coming back from injury. We like to play 2 up front if we can at home, but
yeah,
I mean, would you do that against Sunderland, or would you just leave it with Big Vic?
I think I'd be tempted to probably just leave it this week. The trouble is that I really like Godden, and I like when the two of them play together, but it's just his injuries, isn't it? And I just think we don't want to rush him back. If he's still feeling a niggle, I'd be tempted just to sort of bring him on like during the game, a bit like we did at Rotherham, like let Big Vic start do a lot of the donkey work, and Palmer to a degree can do that as well. And then like once they've sort of ran around a lot, bring on Godden at the end and sort of just give him a sort of bit of a cameo at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to get your view on the new guy. Obviously McNally, who's been outstanding for us as well, isn't he, at the back?
Yeah, really.
From Burnley. He'd be a fantastic if we could get hold of him in the summer. Because if Burnley go up, with all due respect, so it looks like they're going to go up, then we might have a good chance of getting him, I think.
Yeah, and I think if we did that, it'd probably like mend my broken heart over Hyam.
Yeah, well, we haven't replaced him, have we? We haven't replaced Hyam.
And to be fair, as much as I love Hyam, McNally is really a step up, isn't he? I think so. Yeah,
I think he reads the game tremendously.
Yeah.
And he's just what we have to really, and just what we need. And if we can tie him down to a contract in the summer, that would be fantastic. How about the other new guy, the Maguire? I mean, it's a very strange signing, wasn't it, Maguire? We haven't seen much of him, and he wasn't even in the squad last week.
No, apparently he had a bit of a paddy, didn't he? I heard.
So I've heard all these rumours that he's stormed off, he wasn't in the squad. And all, I mean, I don't know whether to believe that or not, but, at the end of the day, he wasn't in the squad, was he? But no. I can't see him expecting to be in the team. Not at the moment, anyway. If we're winning, but certainly on the bench, But I have expected him to come on probably for a bit longer than he had. I mean, Robbins only brought him on for the last sort of 2 minutes or last quarter.
Yeah, I heard another rumour that apparently he was just not really showing a lot in training, and I think that what's always obvious with Robbins is that he sets a lot of stall in what he sees in training, because sometimes he'll be picking players on a match day and we're like, why are they getting picked? And it's obviously something he's seen in training. And I get the impression that maybe Maguire's not showing the effort or the enthusiasm or anything that Robbins wants to see. And it's a strange one because presumably he'd come in on a short-term contract with a view to trying to play to get himself a contract either with us or somewhere else, like to put himself in the shop window. Well, if he's not trying hard enough in training to even get into our squad, like what's he expecting from the I mean, it seems a bit of a strange one, really.
It is very strange. I'm just surprised he hasn't played a little bit more.
Yeah.
More than he has. Let's have a couple look at the comments. National Radio Commentary. Hi, Vicky. Hi from a Sunderland fan, Lauren Kenny.
Oh, nice.
Evening, Lauren. You all right?
Oh, you know Lauren? Oh, right. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's just from my podcast.
Okay, fair enough. Hi, Lauren Covandi. Hi, Ken, Vicky, and Brad.
All right, Rosie. How are you doing? All right.
We've got Rosie Laws. Lauren Kenny again. Hi, Covandi.
There's a lot of love in today, isn't there?
There's quite a few messages here. We're just going, evening, Rosie, welcome. RIP John Motson from the Sunderland fan. Yeah, I mean, what's your memories of Vicky of John Motson? Because
I think match of the day is a big one, isn't it? Like you come home from a match and you turn on match of the day and his commentary, like you said, the cup final as well.
Yeah,
I think for a lot of us, I suppose of a certain generation, he was the voice of football, wasn't he? Like that's what we grew up listening to, his commentary, and that's what you associate. So it's very sad. I was really sad to hear that when I came out of work today. So
it was. It was very, very sad. If Rotherham can beat Sunderland, then we can. Says Sky Blue Sam. So fine. Glenn, Sky Blue Hobby evening, Glenn. Good evening. Can't wait for Saturday. Covandi evening all. Saturday. Is Saturday a must-win game, or is it a case of not losing, Vic?
I suppose it depends for both teams what their aspirations of a playoff position is, isn't it? I think I tend to think maybe it's a case of not losing is the priority. Picking up points. That's what's important now, isn't it? We're getting on a bit of a roll.
Yeah.
We haven't lost for a little while now. Just to keep that momentum going is the most important thing, I think. I mean, a win would be ideal, but I think a case of not losing.
I'd probably agree. It's important that we don't lose. Glenn's coming back from Sky Blue. What a great commentator. Gone back to John Motson. Sky Blues are sky high. I always remember that the Sky Blues are sky high when Killer lifted that cup in '87. That was superb and great memories from that. So many memories from John Motson. It's been, he's an absolutely fantastic commentator. And, I was really shocked when I heard this morning. Really shocked. But these things happen. And hopefully, we've left a lot of great memories of football folk up and down the country. And I don't think you'll ever see a commentator quite like him again, simply because there's so much football on telly now, isn't there? Yeah. You don't know who's commentated on what now, do you? You don't really know a commentator, an outstanding commentator like John Motson, because in those days, back then in the 80s and the 90s, there was only like 4 channels, wasn't there? ITV and BBC, and that was it. So the commentators were very few and far between. But now you've got Sky, you've got all sorts, and BT, you've got loads of commentators. So you wouldn't have an icon like John Motson ever again, I don't think.
I remember seeing a documentary once about how he used to prepare for matches, and like all these, his wife was showing all the notes that he'd got about different players and different stats, and so that things he could speak about during the game. And I just don't think, but I think that with the sort of modern era of everything being sort of available on the internet and also out of football, that you just won't get that sort of commentator who's got the time or the inclination to make that sort of effort anymore. So it just changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does. Yeah, it was very sad. It did quite shock me this morning when I got the news. Okay, a few more comments. We'll go through just before we go back to Brad. We'll corroborate there. Mowbray Hoodoo never seemed to win against sides he manages against us. Yeah, we lost. Well, we drew against Blackburn when he was managing, didn't we? 2-2, if I remember. We came back to draw 2-2, but we lost in the cup to him, didn't we? And Blackburn came to the CBS. Evening all, great to see a few new people joining tonight, which is fantastic. Okay, coming Jude.
Evening, Acacia. All right.
Yeah, Acacia. Oh, you know Acacia.
Oh, brothers, mate.
Hi,
yeah.
You got a lot of fans on you.
Yeah, go all behind my podcast. We're all behind the scenes still at work.
Well, fair play to them. All right. I can't say.
Oh, hi, Jason. How are you doing?
You said it, but I couldn't say it. So Kimberley, evening. Great to see so many Sunderland fans watching. Fantastic. I hope they're all coming tomorrow. Nation Radio covering too many in a short space of time. Bloody World Cup. Okay. Rosie, your friend Rosie, Brad.
Yeah.
Coventry 1, Sunderland 3. But you're a bit tough game, it says. Wow.
Controversial.
Wow, Rosie. I'm not so sure about that, but you're entitled to your opinion. Very much so. Nation Radio, I think Coventry will win this. Mick Davenport, evening everybody, evening Mick. Wes reckons it's going to be 1-1. Underage Cov fans, Sunderland haven't won in Cov since 1985, Bradley. Cov unbeaten in the last 5 games. Vida Mackham. Mowbray hasn't lost to Cov in the last 5 games. He's managed the side against us. So, smacks of a draw, no good to either side, really, is it? We don't want to draw. We want to win. We want to win, and obviously you want to win as well.
Obviously, yeah.
Depends on how they cope with Big Vic, says Tony at Nation Radio. Keisha's come back on. Are you doing the Tony Mowbray? What's that?
Oh, you're doing a Tony Mowbray. Oh, you're doing a Tony Mowbray. Oh, you're doing a Tony Mowbray. Oh, we'll flag up, you're offside.
No doubt we'll hear that tomorrow then at some stage. can't remember.
Love our granddad Mowbray.
Mowbray, yeah. Here's a question for you, Brad. How big a loss is Ross Stewart for Sunderland?
A massive loss for us. Yeah, a very massive loss. Obviously, Sunderland announced it a couple of weeks ago that he had an Achilles injury. So he's out for at least to the end of the season. So that'll be until August next season. He'll be playing next.
Yeah.
That'll be a big miss for Sunderland.
Yeah.
And Geldhart's really up for it. He wins every single ball, every single duel as well.
Yeah.
He's got pace as well around about him. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Liam K says hi.
All right, Liam, how are you doing?
Another one of your friends there. Yeah, you are, Brad. Oh, Scarborough Fans TV. He's a stud. Yeah, you are, Brad, apparently. Right, Glenn from the Scarborough Hub. Any chance the 15-year-old Chris Rigg might be involved on Saturday? I've heard about this 15-year-old. How good is he?
To be honest, I haven't seen him play any league games this season, but he's played in a few cup games. He's played against Shrewsbury Town when we played them in the fourth round of the FA Cup before we played Fulham in the fifth. Obviously, come on for about 10-15 minutes and he looked lively. He actually scored against Shrewsbury Town, but it was offside, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So do you think he's ready? Do you think he's ready?
Yeah,
do you think he's ready?
He's in Cyprus at the moment, so not likely, no.
I've just seen. Is it? He's in Cyprus. So apparently, Lauren knows he's in Cyprus. So there you go.
Yeah, he's in Cyprus.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, you understand now. Chris Rigg is away with England the 16s.
Yeah, so he is.
That's why he's not gone to Cyprus on holiday. He's on international duty. Let's get that clear.
Right, I'll have to jump off in a minute, guys. But
right, okay then. I'm going to ask you for your prediction before you go. I need a prediction off you then, Brad, please.
No problem. Obviously, changes must be made. What I was telling you before, with Miles, before we get into predictions. Unless he needs to come back in for Sergen, because Sergen was poor on Tuesday night. You needs to come back in for 09. Robert comes in for Pritchard, I reckon. And I think Sunderland's team will start like this. I think it'll be Patterson in goal, Barrow, Bath, Alessi, Hume, Michut, 09, Robert, Ahmad, Clark, and Geldhart. That's what I reckon.
Right, okay.
But for the score prediction, I reckon we might get this over the line. I think it's going to be 2-1 to us. 2-1 Sunderland.
So you're going to come back from your midweek disappointment and get 3 points. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 to us this time, not 2-1 to the other team for the give a date.
Now, you got 3,000 coming down, haven't you? You've got 3,000 tickets, I believe.
Yeah, 3,000 tickets. Our capacity sold out, so we're bringing 3,000 down with us on Saturday. Obviously, Howie and the lads. It'll be good. And don't forget, guys, including Coventry fans as well, subscribe to RWA Productions channel. We're on 220 subscribers. We're 80 away from 300, so keep on going. Keep on subscribing. It'll be brilliant to do so.
Yeah, definitely. No problem. Just a quick one before you go. Underage Cov fan says, who's Sunderland's unsung hero this season? Have you got one?
Unsung hero, I think Anthony Patterson, definitely. Patterson's definitely our unsung hero. He's proved me wrong. As well as Luke O'Nien as well. There's actually 2 unsung heroes for this season for Sunderland. Luke O'Nien and Patterson, I reckon, for unsung heroes.
Right, fair enough. Right, I'm going to wish you all the best then for the rest of the season after Saturday, obviously.
Yeah, I wish you all the best as well. Obviously, apart from Saturday.
And you never know, we might end up meeting each other in the playoffs. You never know, do you?
Who knows? We could be back meeting each other. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Football's a funny game, and as you know, anybody in this league can beat anybody on the day, as we all know.
Exactly. Anyway, thanks for having us on.
No problem. Thanks very much, Brad. All the best.
Take care now. Bye bye.
Bye. There you go. That was Brad from RWA Productions, and we wish him all the best. Obviously, after Saturday, don't we, Vic?
We do after Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, how do you see our next few games going then, Vic? I mean, we got coming up. I mean, on paper, we've got some winnable games. We've got Huddersfield, Hull, Preston, Wigan, Blackpool, all teams that people would think, are beatable on the day.
Yeah.
If you got to see them on paper, you think, we should be picking 3 points up in every one of them games. But as you know, it doesn't always work that way, does it?
Yeah, wasn't it Brian Clough that said we should beat them on paper, but unfortunately the game isn't played on paper or something like that?
Yeah, exactly.
We must be due to beat Preston, mustn't we? I mean, it's time. Surely.
It is.
It's one of those weird. Well, I think it was Claudio put a thing on Facebook earlier talking about like sort of strange hoodoos against certain teams that are just unexplainable, really. I don't know why Preston away is such a difficult game for us. It makes no sense at all.
Well, I understand it. I mean, I went last year. I remember. I think we were winning last year, weren't we?
Yeah.
And we ended up losing the game crazily. Yeah. It's just unbelievable because the amount of times I've gone up there and come away disappointing is I've lost count. I get fed up playing them. Yeah. They just seem one of them hoodoo teams, don't they? That we always play against and never get anything against.
Robbins has managed to break a lot of those. There's been other teams that we've had bad records against that he's managed to break. So hopefully this season it'll be the Preston one, and then that'll be good stuff. Yeah,
let's have a look at some more comments coming in. Mick Davenport, we should do it, but it's Coventry City, obviously. Cov Andy said, Brad, what a top lad. Yeah, very entertaining. He was, and I loved his singing as well. Mick Davenport, hopefully Patterson has a bad game on Saturday. Well, let's hope he does. And Glenn's come back to say 6 to 9 points from the next 3 games would be great. Anything around the 12 points or higher from the next 6 games would be a great return. Hit 50 points in safety and then play with a bit of freedom, nothing to lose. I'll probably agree with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we're after. We just need to, survive, really, don't we? That's what we want. Obviously, if we're up there in the top half of the table, we're only 6 points or whatever off the playoffs, then we've got to go for it, haven't we?
That's it. We can just see where it takes us, and it's all just about enjoying it, really, isn't it? I think that unlike teams like Burnley and probably Sheffield United and some of these other teams to a degree, and Norwich, I suppose, they've got pressure to go straight back up because they need to do it whilst they've still got the money from the Premiership before they lose all the players and everything. So they've got that pressure to contend with, and we really haven't at the moment, have we? If we're around about the playoffs, that's a great season for us. I think that to a degree, what Bradley was just saying about Sunderland stabilising for maybe a season or two, we're still going through that transition, aren't we, really, from the fact that we've had to get rid of a load of players that were League 2 quality who did a good job for us getting us out, and we've come from that level to this level so quickly that we're still really just, I suppose, transitioning our squad, aren't we? So we're going in the right direction. And I don't think it's a case of keep on growing, but if in the meantime we're going to have a bit of fun, get to the playoffs and see where it takes us, and that's all the better, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I probably agree with you there. A lot more comments coming on. Ian Collins, go on, Kenny boy. I know Ian very well. All right, Ian, good evening, mate. Let's go. Brad was ace. There's a lot of support for Bradley. Every game is winnable, said Mick Davenport. Bradley's come back on from RWA. Seeing those comments in the chat, thank you very much, appreciated. That's from Bradley. What a lovely guy he was, Bradley. And we do wish him best of luck for the rest of the season. Obviously, after we play them, there's always that bit of rivalry against Sunderland. I don't know why. This all started over Jimmy Hill, didn't it?
Yeah, I wasn't even born then, so I wasn't even born with that.
No, it's probably before mine. I mean, it's when I think it was the game when it got delayed, didn't it? And they reckon they were blaming it on Jimmy Hill. I mean, I wasn't there; it was before my time. Jimmy Hill obviously delayed the game, and Sunderland went down, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing was,
Coventry Bristol City carried on playing for a 1-1 draw, something like that. From what I
think it was 2-2, wasn't it? I think it was
2-2. That's right.
Yeah. The crazy thing is that at the end of the day, I think we played 15 minutes more and it was 2-2. And we just played out for a 2-2 by the sounds of it. Although it sounds like Bristol City just kept the ball around the back and we just didn't bother to go and challenge for it.
But exactly.
So I mean, I don't know why they don't get any hate. It's always us. But equally, I think you don't get relegated on a 15-minute period of time at the end of the season. You get relegated over a whole season. They obviously hadn't done enough over the whole season. They could have actually saved themselves. They were winning the game before, and if they'd have won that, they'd have stayed up, and so they threw it away themselves. And so it just seems crazy that all these years later, there's still all this bad feeling about something that really is so inconsequential. It's just crazy. Really.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Glenn's come back on. Jimmy sent you down. Well, yeah.
Stop winding them up, Glenn. Stop winding them up.
After a bad start to the season with all the off-field stuff, I'll be happy where we are at the minute. And Mick's probably right there. You know, we had an awful start to the season. Nobody anticipated after that Sunderland game, because we still didn't know when we played Sunderland about the pitch situation, did we?
No.
It all sort of came out just after that game, and then we found out, we weren't going to be playing there, and we had all trouble with the pitch, and the games got called off. If we'd have known that, obviously, it would have been a bit different. But it was a bit of a shock for us because everybody kept quiet, wasn't within the club. Nobody announced anything about the pitch until the last minutes, and then the fans started panicking, and then we had all these games called off, and then we had the threat of points deductions and all sorts. So yeah,
was it?
No, it wasn't. Mick Davenport's come on. I was there in 1977. It was so comical. We were passing to Bristol and they were passing it back. So there you go. 1977. So it was slightly just before my time there, Mick. So I wasn't there, but I heard all about it. It was like Morecambe at home. Remember when we played Morecambe at home in League Two? And did Morecambe have to? They needed a point, did they?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Did it say? Was it 0-0 or something like that, or 1-1?
Yeah. I think it was 0-0 because we didn't need anything, did we? We just needed not to lose, and we'd be in the playoff.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, and then they were in the end. We it didn't matter to us, did it? And then Morecambe needed a point, and there was all sorts of hysterical celebrations at the end, weren't there, from Morecambe? They were going mental at the end, if I remember. Coventry said, Mick, I was there, and you're right, it was funny. I was going to talk to you about this. Any thoughts on the new sponsor next season? Possible season ticket prices for next season? Now, I don't know if you noticed, the training kit's been sponsored by Coventry Building Society. Did you see some of the pictures in the media?
Yeah, I saw the photos. I thought they looked quite smart. Yeah,
I thought it's fantastic for a local company to have Coventry on the shirt. It's brilliant. I personally think there might be a good chance of them taking over Boyle Sports next season. I think the end of the season that their contract ends, and it'd be nice for Coventry Building Society to do that, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely.
I'll be well behind that, and that'd be a fantastic move. I think most of the fans will be supporting that if that happened. You agree?
Definitely. Well, definitely. Like you said, local business. It's not a gambling organisation, which is better as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things about gambling in football.
Gambling in football, yeah.
So there's all sorts of bonuses about that. Really, I think that sounds like good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a good possibility. Yeah, Ball Sports deal ends in the summer, says Glenn, and I can see them being our main sponsor, Mick. Yeah, I agree. I think they've come in and sponsored not very rarely we get anybody to sponsor our training kit, is it? I can't remember last time that happened, but it was probably Elliot's Car Accessories or someone like that years ago.
I
seem to remember Elliot's on some of the youngsters' kits years ago. But yeah, we very rarely have two sponsors like that. I don't think. Yeah, it's a bit here about all the clubs can't have gambling on any of the shirts next season. That's right. There's a new rule come out about the gambling, isn't there? And it's going to affect a lot of clubs because I think over half the clubs in the Championship are sponsored by a gambling or betting company. I think that was the figures that were released. And they're all going to have to find a new sponsor next year because I think the new rules are they can't have advertising on the shirts. So they're not allowed. That's going to be stopped by the EFL, I believe. On any shirts next season. Some of the comments coming in, you're quite right there. Glenn, EFL television rights set to double in value over 200 million per year, with Viaplay and DAZN joining battle for live matches. More than 20 packages on offer and attending next year. What's your view on? Do you think there's too much live television, Vic, or do you think we've got to, are you happy with that? The more, the better.
Yeah, I think it doesn't bother me. There was a thing that some people were saying that if there's too much on the TV, people won't go. But I don't subscribe to that view myself. If you want to go and watch football, like I want to go and watch football live. If I can't get there, then it's great if I can find it on the TV. But it never stopped me going if I could actually get there, because there's nothing beats watching football live, actually being in the ground. So I don't think the majority of people who go would still go, regardless of if the match was on the TV or not. So I think, it might affect some of your World Cup crowd. But I think what it helps is people that like maybe live abroad now, or live far away, or work funny shifts, can still watch their teams. So for me, it doesn't. The more the merrier.
I like the more football on telly. It's brilliant. You can sit down the pub and watch a lot of football. Years ago, so we were talking about earlier with John Watson and stuff.
Yeah,
you could only have BBC or ITV, isn't there? So you've only got the two. You've only got the two main channels which are showing match of the day, and you had very, very little live games, or hardly any live games, did you? Really, at the end of the day, and now you've got like
Sunday afternoon or something. I seem to remember.
Yes,
that
you
was
had like Star Soccer, didn't you, or something on a Sunday, and match of the day, live. Now you get the FA Cup games mainly live, but very, very rare you had a live game. But now it seems to be every night you've got a live match on. Mick Davenport, we may get Frasers on our shirts, I noticed Frasers have got a couple of advertising boards at the CBS now. Did you notice them go up? It's Frasers Group. Did you see them, Vic? In the corner?
I saw someone when I was up there for the the women's internationals on the weekend. I saw there was a few Frasers things dotted around now. Definitely.
Well, we might, that could be a sponsorship with Frasers, a part of the rent agreement, says Mick. You never know, exactly. Right, Sky Blue Sam, can I have a Sky Blue Fans TV badge on Saturday from the Family Zone? Yes, you can, because I'm just about to come to that and announce that we are obviously sponsoring the Sky Blue Fans TV are sponsoring the Family Zone on Saturday morning against Sunderland. You need to register with the Family Zone to get your popping crisps, and we've got a few badges. We've got a competition to win a mug. We've got 4 or 5 mugs to give away in a picture quiz like we did last time against Burnley. But you must register with the Family Zone when you bring your kids down, come in the ground. There's a table on the left-hand side. You register there, you get a token, you come to our table, you get your free pop and crisp, and then you go into the competition. You've got badges and got a few giveaways to do. So get down there nice and early. We'll be there down nice and early, setting it all up. So if you get in the ground early, you can come down and see us all. We'll all be down there. I'll be down there. Mark will be down there, and a few others from Sky Blue Fans TV. And we'll have a couple of we've got a competition to enter. We'll have loads of giveaways as well. So we did it last time against Burnley, and it was very successful. I think we ran out of stock before the end because so many people turned up. We've got plenty of stuff to give away. Got a bit of extra this time, so we don't run out, hopefully. But it was so popular last time against Burnley. We're doing the same again, and it's really. I mean, they do a fantastic job. The Family Zone, don't they, Vic? A lot of them, they're volunteers. A lot of them that work there. Pat, a lovely lady, Pat, who runs it. They're all volunteers. They don't get paid by the club. They have to get stuff off the club to get their raffles and stuff, raise money for the raffles. So they are a charity organisation. They do a lot for the kids. There's a lot going on down there. There's games. There's all sorts of stuff. I mean, if you've never been down there, if you get into the ground early, it is a really good setup, for the kids, for the young kids.
They do a good job, don't they? It's a really good job.
They do a tremendous job. And I think it's fantastic to get the kids involved at an early age and get them to love Coventry City, because what you don't want is fans at young age walking around with like Chelsea tops on and Man United tops. That's what I don't like. I like to see youngsters with Coventry City tops on, and to get them into that you've got to put something on for the kids to, and the family zone is ideal for that. And that's
what that does is it attracts kids to go into the match, doesn't it? We were just talking about then, weren't we, about there being a lot of live football and maybe people not going and watching on the TV instead. But if you've got the bug for going, and that obviously helps with that, like they're going along and they're loving it, that's something for life there. And you've got a fan that will turn up for life, because once you've got that bug, it's really quite hard to walk away from, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what you got to get that bug. And once they've got that bug, and that's like me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, I went with my older brother. He took me, and that's how I got into it. And it was, you know, and I've never given up since. So, Glenn's come on and said the family do a great job improving match day experience for the kids. Yeah, agree with Glenn. Exactly what we've just been saying. It is a fantastic experience, and sometimes you get a couple of the younger under 23 players come along as well to sign autographs. You know, and the non-match day squad players come along as well to sign a few autographs. So you do see some players down there as well. It was it's a great day. But we're gonna have a little break. We're gonna come back, and I'm gonna talk to you about the England ladies game at the CBS, which you went to at the weekend, didn't you? I believe.
I did.
Yeah. So we're going to just put this competition back on there, and then we're going to have a little break, and I'll come back and chat to you again in a minute, Vic. Let's just remind you of the competition we've got going. It's a two-tone brewery lunch. You can win 2 tickets for the night at the Dillon's Brewery, Saturday the 4th of March, 1 o'clock till 6 o'clock. What was the specials first? Number one single. What was the specials first? Number one UK single. And you've got to email us, Skyview Fan TV. Please email only. No answers online. Emails only for that. And you've got a chance. The competition is going to be open until next Thursday. So you've got a chance to a week to answer the question and a week to get your entries in. And then obviously, if you want to order tickets, there we go. Scan the QR code, get your ticket. The QR code's on there. I'll leave it on for you for a moment or two so you can see it. All you have to do is scan that QR code, get yourself some tickets, and then that's the way to order. If you order them through us, we get a bit of commission on that as well, I think. So it's better if you order them off us on that QR code. Special guest Trevor Evans, the Lloyd McGrath Collective, and more to be announced soon. So the Two-Tone Brewery Brunch should be a fantastic night. It's at Dillon's Brewery, so that's what you need to do to order your tickets. If you're not successful in winning one on that competition there, you can email skyviewfantv.co.uk with the answer to that question if you want a chance to win 2 tickets. If you're not successful, you can always order them on the other one. Okay, we're going to have a short break, and then we're going to come back and talk to Victoria about the England International. Just a reminder of the competition. There we go. That's the answer. That's what you have to answer. What are the specials first? Number one, single email on that email address, please, as soon as possible. We've got till next Thursday to enter that. Right. Okay, Vic. Let's talk about England women on Sunday. Record attendance at the CBS.
Yes. I know that's been caused some controversy, hasn't it? Because people have been saying, the tickets were cheap and it wasn't full. And I mean, you obviously bought tickets for 2 matches. There was obviously the England-Italy game, and then they had Belgium-South Korea afterwards.
Yeah.
And there were gaps in the crowd for the England game, but then there was some. I was surprised actually. There were some Belgium and South Korea fans that then came and sort of filled those gaps for their game. So presumably they'd bought tickets and they weren't so bothered about watching England. And like a lot of the England fans left. I mean, I stayed and watched both matches, but a lot of people did leave and only stayed for.
But was there many Italy fans there from the first game?
Didn't see a lot. When they scored, there was one man in the corner that cheered. That's what all we saw.
Really?
But,
I mean,
so
take it that the attendance was for the total amount of tickets sold for both games.
Yeah, so I think across the two, it would have been pretty much sold out. But just obviously, some people took the choice to watch one or the other game rather than staying for both. I just thought it was a bargain, really. Good few hours worth of football for like £10 a ticket. So
I mean, well, not very often you get the chance to see an international game in Coventry, do you? Very rare. I mean, I think they've played them under 21 games over the last few years and stuff, and we've seen a couple of under 21 games there. But first time the ladies have played there, and they did rest a few players, didn't they? They brought a few with subs on as the game went on.
I was gutted. I was really looking forward to one of my favourite players is a lady called Millie Bright who plays at the back, and I was really looking forward to seeing her. And they rested her, and she played again last night in Bristol. And I thought that's typical. She played both games apart from the one in Coventry, and I was gutted because I really wanted to see her. So that was a bit of a shame. But so they did mix it up a bit for and I don't think it wasn't as strong a team as it was last night. I mean, they obviously beat Belgium. And Belgium were actually the second strongest team out of 4. They beat them 6-1 last night. So
they played that game down in Bristol, didn't they? I think
that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, but there was a lot more of the recognised players from like the Euros last night. But it was good. I mean, actually, I enjoyed the Belgium South Korea game. That was a good game. 2 teams wanted to play a bit of football, and that was quite an enjoyable match. And
the 2 England goals, 2 headers. Because I was watching it. I was in the pub watching. I was watching I think it was Man United Leicester. One game on one chat, and then you had the England game on the other screen. So I had both on. And the 2 headers, 2 quite impressive headers.
She's because that Rachel Day there, I don't know if you know, she used to be a fullback, and she moved.
Who did she play for?
She plays for Aston Villa.
Oh God. You ain't got far to travel there.
She has been playing. I'm sure she's been playing in the States, but she's come back over to England and now she plays for Villa.
Yeah.
Historically, she's been a fullback, but for whatever reason, I'm not sure why this has come about. But it seems that Villa must be playing her up front, and she's suddenly started banging in goals, and so England are doing the same now and giving her a chance up front. Too good. She's always been quite a sort of fierce competitor. I think she probably suits that sort of role, but
Glenn's come back on. The villain scoring at the CBS. Not very good. 2 cracking headers.
Yeah.
Great to see the 21s back at CBS. Maybe even the England. Yeah, that'd be great. I mean,
the thing is, if these things come along and we support them and people go and there's good gates, that's part of my thinking. If you want these things to come to the CBS, people have got to support things that do come, don't they, to show it's worth putting them on. So they got a good gate for that. Maybe that makes them have another there as well.
Yeah, and I think we're ideally situated, aren't we, where we are in the Midlands, right in the middle of this country. And it's good when I used to like it when all the England team went round away from Wembley, and they went round all the different grounds like Newcastle. They went to Old Trafford, didn't they, and played. And they used to, when Wembley was getting done up, they travelled all around, didn't they, to play? And I think they should do that, especially with friendlies.
Definitely.
I think they should travel all around the country and give other people a chance, to watch them. Because England fans are all over the country, aren't they? Not just in London. We always have to.
It's not too bad for us getting to London, but the more north you go, I mean, it's really quite attractive to some people. I mean, like for example, someone like Bradley up in Newcastle, Sunderland, rather.
Sunderland. Oh, God, you'd have to have a weekend. You'd have to have a weekend, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I think it's expensive then, doesn't it? So it's just
absolutely. Glenn's come back on. Should Cov City look to merge with Cov United ladies? With Cov City ladies and setting up for a ladies team that would play at CBS or the Butts decent standard? Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't know if you know what happened to Coventry City ladies, because they seem to sort of they did have a team, didn't they, a few years ago?
Yeah, originally. I don't know exactly what happened.
Now they've gone to sort of Cov United have got them now, haven't they? Is that right?
Yeah.
They're playing with their banner.
I think that I assume that Coventry City ladies just completely disbanded. I don't think it's the same team that's been taken over. I think that's a reformed team. I think. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened there. I mean, it's a difficult one for me because ideally you would want a Coventry City ladies, a team that plays in sky blue. It's I mean, I know they're still a Coventry team, but it's slightly strange to be supporting a team that hasn't got the same name. But I don't know whether it'll ever happen, because I know that Dave Boddy said at one of these sort of fans get together things that it just costs such a lot of money to run a ladies football team, and the sort of teams that are obviously doing it and doing it well are the teams that have got the money to burn. So the likes of, so your Premiership teams generally, isn't it? Whereas every penny we've got, we want to try and invest in the playing squad, and we haven't got much of a budget as it is, and so we haven't got the spare cash to be using to do that. I think he's right. We should definitely. But whether, I mean, it might be something that as things get better, and if we can get into the Premier League and we can start getting more revenue in, that they can seriously look at. I just think at the moment in time, and this is what Dave Boddy said. He said essentially, we want to give Mark Bobbins as much money as we can, and that isn't very much at the best of times. I mean, we don't know in the dug what that'll be like, but obviously historically, and he just said that we can't afford to siphon money out of that budget to help set up a ladies football team. And
I think it's probably got to do with money as well, isn't it? Money.
Yeah.
Although if you get the crowds like obviously the England international team got the crowds, if it's well supported, then I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have a ladies team, really.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of young girls now. I noticed as a referee, because I referee local, and there's a lot of teams always ring me up and say, "Are you available to ref this game, this ladies tournament and stuff like that?" And there seems to be a lot more coming along. Especially.
It's great, isn't it? So I loved playing football. I loved playing football when I was younger, but there was no real the sort of setup that there is now just wasn't available. So I think it's great that young girls who like to play football I've got all these opportunities. I just wish I was like 30 years younger or something.
Yeah. I quite agree. Glenn's come. We do think, but we're such a low level in comparison to Cov United ladies. But Cov United's had a name, isn't it, linked to a lot of Cov City fans, rightly or wrongly. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Cov United thing. I mean, obviously that only came about because of the situation we were in, weren't we, at the time a few years ago, and all that. It
just makes it all a bit messy, doesn't it? It just makes it all a little bit messy. Unfortunately, but. I mean, I know that we had the Cov United people on from the ladies team on a pod, and they were really nice, and they explained the separate but it still just feels a bit messy, and there'll be a lot of people that'll be put off by that. So it is a shame that we can't get some sort of more uniformed setup so that people can really get behind it. Yeah,
it's a shame. Because the ladies' game seems to be improving all the time. And to do that, you need the youngsters coming through, don't you, all the time?
Yeah.
And they need to be involved from a young age, obviously, when they get older, to get into a team. And you need that setup. And if you haven't got that setup, you're going to struggle, aren't you?
Bristol must have a good setup, because when I was watching the game that was on at Bristol last night, and they were talking about how many players had come through Bristol's ranks, and I mean, obviously they're only a Championship team too, so they must have a good lady setup, because they were talking about quite a lot of these England players have come through the ranks from Bristol. So you obviously don't have to be a Premiership team to really do it successfully. It's just about getting the setup right, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose it is really. I say it's all down to money as well, and you never know with our new setup, with our new management team coming in, they might look at that again and they might think it might be worthwhile. Getting the ladies team involved again, and if it's certainly got the backing, then I don't see any reason why they can't do that. Get a bit of sponsorship together, they could easily do that. Mark Cunningham, good luck to all that bear the Coventry name, but I'll always be City. Yeah, it's always been a one city club. This always will be. I think. I know Coventry United have come along, and it's a brand new team, if you like. But yeah, it would all be known as Coventry City, and that's the only thing I've ever known it as. I support any Coventry team really. They've got the Coventry name in it. Obviously, Wasp didn't have the Coventry name in it, so I didn't support them. I supported Coventry Rugby Club, obviously, because they got a Coventry name in. And I always take an interest if any team with the name Coventry in, because
that's a lot of ice hockey and all sorts of different things.
Ice hockey was very popular. Years and years ago, they had a basketball team. Years ago, which they used to play at Cov Bass, and then they used to be quite popular as well. And they moved. I don't know when they moved to in the end, but. Over the years we've had quite a few, popular things in Cov, popular sports. Glenn's come back on. Just think Cov Spinks are the more liked by Cov fans than Cov United. I bet plenty of Cov fans will go to Birmingham Senior Cup tie between Spinks and Cov under 21s. Oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, didn't know that. Spinks have been drawn against Cov under 21s then, have they? In the Birmingham Senior Cup. Yeah, that's a local derby, isn't it? If ever there was one. Coventry Spinks against Cov City under 21s. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't realise that. No.
Spinks had to be. I think Spinks had to beat Hales Owen. I think it was when we were playing at home last, and they did obviously. So they're playing Coventry under 21s.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Wednesday, 16th of March. I presume that's at Spinks that game. Yeah,
I believe so.
It's not far from.
No, local to you, isn't it?
Very local to me, so that's my local club. I've been down there. I've refereed many times down there as well, local games, and I've been down there many times to watch games, and there is some good players at that level, believe it or not.
Yeah, I think Glenn's right. There's some general good feeling about Cov Spinks because they've always been there, and I suppose they're not. I mean, it's just like a non-league team, and so that we can support them in addition to our affiliation with our league team, can't we? There's no real clash there, and there's no bad history or anything. So I think a lot of people have got fond feelings about Coventry Spinks because again, it's nice for a Coventry team to be doing well. So if you see that Coventry Spinks are doing well at their level, that's positive, isn't it? It's all just positive, really. So
definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, I must agree with you. Okay, then let's just get your prediction then for Saturday before we wrap it up. I know you're not going to be there.
No,
you'll be there in spirit, and you'll be there
in spirit,
watching on your telephone if you can get any signal on your train or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm not like a sardine.
So
I'm going to go 2-0 to Coventry, and Palmer and Vic are going to score.
Oh, you're going to give me goal scores as well, eh?
I'm getting really optimistic this week.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's good. I mean, I agree with you. I think we're going to win. I think we're due a good win as well. I think we're going to come flying out the blocks, and I think we're probably going to win 3-1. I think.
Good stuff.
And Glenn nearly agrees with me. He's gone 3-0. He thinks we're going to keep another clean sheet, which I wouldn't be surprised, to be fair.
Yeah.
Covandy 2-1 City. Mick Davenport 1-0 City. Victor score. Yeah, I do think Vic will score. Glenn's going from Nally and Faz, 2 defenders to score.
Oh,
wow. That'll
Some
be
set
interesting.
pieces there. Yeah,
We don't score many set piece goals, to be fair, do we? So we're probably due.
we are, because we should score more, really, with the players we've got to put the ball in, and the sort of players like that can do a good job in the air. We really should be scoring more from set pieces, shouldn't we?
And what a difference the team's been. I just want you to comment on Faz coming back, the skipper.
Yeah.
A lot better. I mean, we spoke about it in the last pod, and we all agreed what he looks so much stronger, doesn't he, at the back? Organising, shouting, screaming at the players. And they're only a young side, so sometimes they need to be told. And those silly mistakes obviously being cut out by the clean sheets we're getting.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's it. Like, it's great having all these young kids and seeing them develop, and I really like that. I would much rather. I can cope with the fact that we might lose sometimes and we might make mistakes, because I would much rather go along and watch a team of like young players like this developing and getting better than going along and watching like 11 journeyman players that have been around the block for like 10 years who are just turning up for the paycheck. So for me, I much prefer these young kids, but you do just need that spattering of experience, and Faz offers that, doesn't he? So he just shores everything up a little bit, I think, and that's been a good return.
Yeah. So it's so much more confidence, with him in the team. I think.
Yeah.
The team look better organised, and of course he's a threat for set pieces. He has scored the odd goal for us, hasn't he, last season? He just come up now and again. But I know he's getting on a bit, but I mean, he signed a contract extension as well, hasn't he? Which is good.
Yes, that's good news. Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant news. Luke Carter, good evening, Luke. One of our lads that was on last week. Hope you're well. Mick Davenport, maybe the goal machine. Alan will score. Well, he has scored a few. Yeah, he has scored a few. He gets a lot of criticism, doesn't he, Jamie Allen? But he just pop up with the odd goal here and there. So
he's the second top scorer, isn't he, after Vic? So he's got the most goals after Vic. So I don't know.
Yeah, and people like Heyman that should be scoring a few more, especially with his free kicks and stuff. He's one definitely should be scoring a few more. Glenn Wilson is going to have a storm or a stinker. Being the Sunderland fan, of course. Yeah, you've got Ben Wilson, born and bred in that part of the country, isn't he?
That's
I
think he'll have a stormer. I think he's going to have a great game.
Hope he doesn't try too hard and get too pumped up for the game. Well, I think he'll have a stormer because he's been quite confident lately, to be fair.
Yeah.
Sky Blue Sam, Vic was rather watching the whole game, scouting opposition for Saturday. Oh, right, okay. Oh, Vic was watching the Rotherham v Sunderland game. He watched the whole game, scouting apparently.
Getting tips on how to beat their defenders.
Yeah, well, yeah, that'd be good. It's nice of him to go up there. Luke Carter, all good. Not long gone from work. Planning English brekkie before the game on Saturday. Hopefully for 3 points. Absolutely, Luke. We're all going to hope for 3 points and all going to have a nice breakfast, I think, before the game. All going well. So all going for victory all round for the Sky Blues, apart from Bradley, of course, our friend that was on earlier who went for a 3-1. Sunderland fan who went for a 3-1 victory to Sunderland, didn't he? For some,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
very optimistic.
Very optimistic.
I think the trouble is they don't know what Mowbray's like. Mowbray's got to that time of the season now where it starts to go downhill, and we know that because we've seen it.
Yeah, I just think they're going to go away empty-handed, Sunderland. I think we're going to come out the blocks flying. I think I'm going for a 3-1 win. I am. So. Right, before we wrap up, just going to remind you of the competition. There we go. That's the competition. Two-tone brewery lunch, brunch, should I say. What was the specials first? Number one single in the UK. Email us, please. Your answer, stood to Sky Blue Fans TV. And if you're not lucky enough to win the competition, you can get your tickets on that. Scan QR code to get your tickets. 1 o'clock till 8 o'clock on Saturday, the 4th of March. The Sky Blues are away at Huddersfield. So if you're not going to the game, it'll be a fantastic night out at the, or afternoon out, should I say, at the Dillon's Brewery. And it's been great two-tone and ska music there to look forward to. Right, thanks very much, Vic. Appreciate you coming on. Have a lovely weekend in London.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy the match.
Yeah, we will do, and hopefully we can get 3 points
Definitely.
against the Mackhams. That's it. We've run out of time. Then we're going to. There is no more. I'm afraid we're going to leave you with obviously our signature tune and adverts, and join us again on Sunday when Mark will be in the chair, hopefully with 3 points in the bag from Saturday's game against Sunderland. So we'll be reviewing that and looking forward to our trip to Preston, isn't it, on Tuesday evening, which it's going to be a bit of a difficult one, I think, because we never get much up there. I'll be happy with a point, to be fair, against Preston. So if I get 3 points on Saturday, I'll be more than happy. And a point on Tuesday, I'll be over the moon. So that'll be our Sky Blue feast for the weekend. I'll be really happy with that. Anyway, good night. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.